I hope you have your rattle with you. I also told you to make sure you have some smudge. We're going to smudge them before we do our I don't know, activation, initiation with them and get them going. And this is where you actually will feel the spirit of your rattle. It's fascinating. So welcome to this session. So first I want to talk about soul retrieval, because that is something that you will experience and you will hear people talk about. And soul retrieval is usually something that people should experience or do experience after they've been feeling stuck, or maybe they feel like there's something missing, or maybe something has happened that's tragic and all of a sudden they don't fully feel like themselves, or something's happened in your life that you wish never happened. So all of us at some point in our life get hurt by people, or will get hurt by circumstances or other forces that are out of our control. And sometimes these are self-inflicted and sometimes they're not. And it doesn't matter. There's a natural response. And it's often that we try to forget that it happened in the first place. And we try to move on quickly. And whenever it hits our mind, we just get busy with something and we try to get focused on something. But this isn't the way to heal something. And it can heal. You can definitely do that. I am a pro at that. And, but this is a power that's going to help that. So if we ever feel like we are low in energy, or we feel like there's negativity, or we feel like we have pain in our body, or that we're experiencing something that's causing us stress, then it's important for us to pick up our rattle and use our rattle as a tool. This is a really good tool for people who have experienced heartbreak, or if someone has broken up with a spouse, or they've lost someone. This is a tool that will bring zombie-like people back alive. It livens our being, and it brings it to a place where we can feel normal and healthy. So anytime we don't feel normal and healthy, we are experiencing something, and we all have experienced this. So I want you to use this as your personal tool. And whenever we experience that feeling of negativity, or we're triggered by something from our past, or we experience something that's traumatic, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical, it actually causes our energy to like split and fragment. And parts of our spirit flee. It goes to safety. And do you know where it goes? It goes to where the location of the trauma existed. It goes to that memory, and it'll get lost. And then once it gets lost, I can't even talk. Once it gets lost, it actually drifts into the world. I mean, think about the world consciousness. Just like we have 12 auric bodies, the earth has that too. And we live on the ground. So that auric body that we live in has a global consciousness, but it also has a very mundane and lower world consciousness, or lower mentality consciousness. And when we get down, it's like a magnetic pull. And some people aren't meant to be, grounded. Some people, for me, for instance, I like to feel grounded and secure, but I feel like I have to be in a higher state. I love the way I feel when I'm in a higher state. I can connect to my guidance. It works for me. And I have the tools that I use. I feel like I live my own magical life. And I know how I work. And I love it. But I can't carry a hematite for too long. Like I can't carry it for a day. All of a sudden it just like starts to like almost burn. So I can't get too grounded myself. But I also can feel my roots go into the earth. In the summertime, my favorite thing is to be outside and have my feet on the earth, because you can feel how far the soil goes. And that's something that I always would do. It's just like plant my feet and see if I can feel how far the soil goes before it hits rock. And it's pretty cool. So we all experience a soul loss. And when we suffer from things and it takes us out of our place of wholeness or our natural neutral place, it's important for us to do a healing or to connect to a new energy. And every time we do that, we heal a fragment of the self. We receive something from that healing. So causes of soul loss can be anything from any type of emotional, physical, sexual, or mental abuse. It can be from prolonged pain. Like people that have prolonged pain, it's horrible. And it is so hard to fight, take on anything else when you're just trying to get out of that pain. So use this when you feel pain, or if you're feeling fears. You want to use this for people that may have addictions. This is so healing for people that are trying to break any type of addiction, especially when it's like drugs and alcohol. It's also something that is very healing for people who experience out of body or near-death experiences. Or maybe they saw something happen unexpectedly and they can't shake it and it's in them. Or maybe they feel rejected or abandoned, or they're forced to act against what they really want to do. There's so many people out there that do. We all do that. We all are forced to do things at times that we don't want to. And when we do that, there's a feeling that we carry. Maybe if someone was experienced an accident, or they've had an unhealthy relationship, or they're in the middle of conflict. So any type of loss in personal power is an amazing reason to connect to the power of your rattle. And those things may trigger a soul retrieval. Okay? And sometimes there are signs that you will experience to let you know that you have and are experienced that soul loss. And these symptoms can be, you can't remember certain parts of your life. That's one of the first signs. Or that you're plagued by feelings of fear and anxiety and you don't know how to get rid of it. Maybe you feel like there's a part of your life missing. But I feel that as like, to me, that's where my search is. I do feel like there is a freedom out there that I want to experience, but I don't feel like that's a missing part. But if you feel like there is a missing part of yourself, and I also feel like that is our path to wholeness. A lot of us feel that. And every time we receive something, it adds to that wholeness. So these can be used when we want comfort and connection to higher spirits, to connect to our ancestors or our spirit guides or even the angels or celestials. Mother Earth. This rattle is known to break depression. And as I'm telling you this, oh, I should be telling you, as I'm telling you this, you should maybe like hold your rattle in front of your heart. Use your left hand to hold the stick and put your right hand on it like you're hugging it in front of your heart, like it's a baby's head falling asleep. Just hold your rattle like that while we're talking, okay? So we can use our rattle when we feel like we are experiencing depression, or if there's too much coming at us at too much time. We can also use it when we aren't sure about our purpose, or maybe we want to connect to something new. It's also something that heals insomnia, so trouble sleeping. And the reason why is because it opens communication and portals of power that might be blocked. Anytime you feel mental or physical fatigue, you can definitely use the rattle. Or if you feel lost. Sometimes you just want space and you just want to feel yourself go into that sacred space. And once you feel and experience what the sound of the rattle can do to you, you'll want to do it more. If we need answers, we can think about those answers while we listen to the rattle. And all of a sudden, we won't be thinking about what we want to know. We'll just hear the rattle after we go and start with intention. That means that the spirit has taken it away. Sometimes we feel like we're not in control of ourselves. And that is good to use the rattle. So if you are having conversations with people and any of this comes about, offer them a rattle experience. Be open to that. So when we experience something that's traumatic or something that puts us into a place of stress or takes us out of our natural state and rhythm, it actually is known as a splitting of the psyche. And it's a dissociation that actually happens from us. It's a mild detachment, and it pulls us out of our natural state of being. And so it's good for us to use this to cleanse what is blocking us and bringing in that healing energy. So when people experience things and they say, oh my gosh, I had this vision, or I had this feeling, or these thoughts from childhood came, that's a release. That means that it's been gone. And a lot of times inner child healings will take place. And those are very powerful because it represents that one thing that happens, that one occurrence is not all that's taking place. That would be from the date or the age all the way up till now, like the bottom of the thread and pulling it out. So when someone has one vision, it can be many. It can even be ties to like ancestral problems that happened. So our rattles can go back to like 9 generations. It can have an effect on our DNA and cleanse it and brighten it. Okay. So when we do use the rattle, and some of you said you feel heightened, and I got an email that someone feels joy, like complete joy when they do their rattle, use the rattle. But when we use the rattle, we will receive the feeling of feeling grounded, and it's grounded in a nurtured way, okay? You'll feel energized, awake, more alive. It'll never drain you. It's healing. You'll also notice that you have a greater influence. You just feel like your influence is connected to everything around you. It will also help you become more aware of your decisions, your choices, and your behaviors. And honestly, you'll have those oops moments. And sometimes when I go a little too far, or I get grouchy or something happens, I will make sure I rattle. You'll also have an unexplainable surge of energy, and it's like a feeling of lightness that calls upon you. Because when we play this, it influences our structure and it brightens it. So you will see light coming from your rattle. I'm telling you right now, you'll see it. It's a glow that happens when you use it, once you get it all activated. It will also help us so that we are getting into a place of physical well-being. So if you're on a healing path, implement the rattle. And you'll also be able to fight things. So you'll just use it as a tool. I need mental clarity, and just go to it. But what I love about it is that it takes away all of that negativity. The rattle's journey is a magical healing to empower and awaken us. But what we have to do to keep it strong is use it as a tool of non-attachment. So anytime we're like want to get rid of something we're thinking about or dealing with, we use it. Okay, I love it. So these rattles are known as a turtle rattle, but they're also known as a 3-spirit rattle. And that's because we have the turtle shell, we also have the alder stick, and then we have the deer hide. And in the last session, I talked about the turtle and I talked about the alder stick. And that's one thing I love about New Brunswick is we have so much alder. It's like wild here, and it grows in clusters. And sometimes when you find old clusters, you can like stand in the middle of the tree and it's like you're in the middle of this round tree. It's awesome. I have lots of alder here. My yard is full of it. So before I move on, I want to talk about the power of the deer, because that is also something that we use. We'll make deer drums, and some people are very drawn to the deer drum. But you have deer hide on it. So when you play your rattle, you might get to the point where you hear the spirit of the deer, their footprints. And that's what happens when we play the drum. We call the herd and the medicine, and all of a sudden we hear their footprints coming towards us. And when we do our drumming circles, we have people with their different hides. So we take turns, like one at a time, entering into the drumming circle, and then all the hides are like, going around the circle together. It's amazing. So you will experience the spirit of the elder. You'll experience and a tree wisdom. You'll experience the Mother Earth's wisdom and everything that we discussed about the healing of the turtle. And you're going to experience the deer. And the deer connects us to natural laws of circulation, our circulatory system, and the heart. And that is deer medicine. And it helps us figure things out. Deer medicine will give us the vision when we need to figure life out. Okay. Deer is good when we live too much in our heads, and when sometimes we're more mental than we are emotional. So when we're living in our heads and not paying into our attention to our hearts, the deer will open the heart chakra, and it will teach us how to trust and empower our feminine qualities of love, but the wisdom that's available to us. The other thing that the deer does, and this is my favorite, is it heals the poverty consciousness. Okay. It heals the belief that there is not enough time, or there's not enough money, or there's not enough love. So when we work with the deer, even when we see deer on the side of the road, and today I had like 8 deer coming across my yard. But whenever we see deer or use our rattles with deer or drum a deer, it reminds us that we live in an abundant universe, that there is more than enough of everything. And that is a sign to ask for help, right? Or to heal that. And, you know, a lot of us will have dreams. We should have dreams. We should have goals. We should know how much we want so that we can feel freedom or be in that universal flow. And it's important for us to connect to that. It has the law of circulation. We're connected to the law of circulation, but so is our finances. So the universe, whatever we have as a vision, is not enough. The universe would wish more than what you want. So we, no matter what we want, we're always limiting ourselves. And we need to be more open because the universe has way more, right? So whenever we feel like we're in a state of poverty or stress or any type of financial or time or relationships, anything like that, you want to use this. It will get us into the law of the cycle that we are in. It will bring us the feeling of love. So if we feel like we just need that comfort and love, it brings us love. And it will also help us connect to love others. Okay. And a lot of times we get imprinted with people's attitudes and all of that, right? And it's all of a sudden you just look at someone and they're an asshole for a week. Heal it. Get rid of it. Start over. Connect to the love. Okay? Because love comes back and it's constantly in motion. And our heart chakra, it goes out. It's the strongest and the furthest away from our body. The vibration is incredible. Okay. So deer is amazing. And when you see deer, that's a message that there is abundance around you. So let me see where I was talking because I want to do our blessing soon. So you should always feel good. You should never feel drained. Okay. So it's also known as the three spirit rattle. So if anyone ever looks at it and says, wow, I love your 3 spirit rattle, you know what they mean. Okay. The rattle is also used to call in helping spirits. And these spirits come to assist us in our healing work. And they know what healing needs to be done more than we do. They know our root. They know the darkness of it. And they can assist us in a sacred healing. You don't need to worry on whether you have ability or not because this does. And you do. So don't ever doubt yourself. And if you do, you better start shaking your rattle out. Okay? Shamans use our rattles to shake out negative energies from a person that may be plaguing them or it may be misleading them. So whenever we are experiencing misleading messages in our mind, we need to use the rattle. Our mind is meant to give us guidance, okay? And rattles are empowered to heal. That's what we're going to do tonight. And so that we can use it for healing purposes on anything we want. You can rattle plants. You can rattle animals. You can rattle over your garden in the spring, okay? And you can rattle anytime you want. So there are a couple ways in which we can work with our rattles. And you can also develop your own way, okay? You can develop it in your own healing practice, okay? So one thing that I want to do is I want you to understand the directions when you're using your rattle. When you use your rattle and you're facing north, you're working with an inner warrior. Their ancestors or our ancestors come to us, and it brings us balance and thought and mastery of our mind. It's also going to call signs of the four-legged animals, sometimes birds, because birds are definitely travel with the four legs, as well as connecting us to the crone, okay? So the energy, the north represents energy, okay? Whenever we use our rattle and we're facing east, we are connecting to our inner sage, or the inner sage of the person you are doing your rattle upon. And a spirit will come forward. This is the vision that will come. The person will probably experience some kind of vision or sight when you're facing the east and doing this. It's also opening for them. It brings illumination, and it gives them usually a message about service or what they should be doing. It's also connected to the eagle. So whenever you see an eagle, it represents the power of the east and your space, okay? So when we rattle to the east, it's cleansing the space in which we are doing our practice in. When we rattle to the south, we are connecting to the power of matter, the inner nurturing, the inner nurturer, but we're also healing the past. When we face the south with our rattle, you're going to influence the physical body the fastest. It's also because the physical body is connected to the body of truth. Okay? And so when we can heal and cleanse the body of truth and connect to who and what we truly are without the distractions and without the things, all those small things that we've been carrying and everything that's attached, our physical body has more power. And the south is also the sign of the turtle as well in many cultures. So the turtle represents that earth, that Mother Earth, the manifestation, okay? So south represents the physical, okay? When we rattle to the west, we are cleansing time. Time from the past, the present, or even the future and where we want to go to. Sometimes I want to cleanse my path when I'm working on something so that I know that it's going to be good for me in the future. I don't want anything to break my path I'm on. I love where I'm at right now. So I'll keep my rattle facing to the west, and it will keep that path clear. When we face the west with our rattle and doing the healings, we actually heal our inner child and the inner child of others. It's the direction to heal feelings and to overcome fear and to overcome death or our connection to death or fear of death. It can also activate our healing power. So face the west and shake your rattle and keep your healing power flowing. It's also the sign of the thunderbird, but also the raven. So when you feel, when you see ravens around, use your rattle, connect to the west, and watch the sunset. Rattling during the sunset is so magical. And when you hear thunder in the storms, grab your rattle. do a cleansing. Face west. It's cleansing time, something of time, something that represents time in your life. Okay. So now, when people experience things, you don't have to go into great detail. Tell them that, you know, they could journal it if they want, but usually if they have that soul retrieval and they have a vision of something, it's the trigger that's pulling a lot more out. It's a portal, the spirit is pulling it out of them. And they may not think about it for many years. Okay, maybe it's gone forever. And that's why it's called soul retrieval, okay, because it's getting pulled out. And the rattle is automatically going to do that. So let's cleanse our rattle with our smudge. And I can't wait for this part. I'm serious. So grab your smudge that you have. Now listen, when you're using smudge, you don't have to use a lot. And I'm going to show you it, really what you need. You don't have to bomb the place. You can bomb the place with smudge when you're like, need to like cleanse it and it's really bad, or if someone's getting a cough or a cold. But when I am smudging, this is all I use, 3 leaves. You don't need more than that. So just 3 leaves, okay? And we're gonna smudge our turtle shell. So you can do that with me, or you can do it later. But we want to cleanse it because we're going to do a blessing over our rattles. So when you light your smudge, you want to just make sure that it's not a long, thin piece like an incense. You want to see that it's kind of maybe got two strings to it, or it's thicker. And that means that the energy is nice and good. It's not fighting anything. And then you just want to pass it over the smudge. And I'm doing the belly first. And you can see how it goes kind of around. Okay. And you want to make sure that your smudge isn't not touching it. And I just hold it right in there. And then you want to get your stick all cleansed. Oh, I love it. Wow. Okay. So once you have it cleansed, I want you to hold it in front of your heart and have it so that the belly side is right in between your chest, right at your heart chakra. And hold your stick. You can hold your stick anywhere you want. Now this time I want you to hold your stick with your right hand, and I want you to hold the shell with your left hand. I gotta move my mirror. Okay. So you're holding the shell with your left hand, like it's a gentle baby's head. Oh. And I want you to pay attention to what you feel. Okay. And you want to see if you can feel vibration in your left hand. And you want to feel and wait for it to meet that into your right hand down on your stick. And it will go from your heart. You want to breathe through your mouth and go from your heart into the shell, down into your hand. And your right hand may end up having a pulse or a frequency, or maybe warm up. And just hold it there while we do this blessing. So we are tied to all things in nature. And these things in nature are connected to the east, south, west, and north. And In ancient times, it's believed that the human soul shares characteristics with all things divine. It is the belief that we have virtues connected to the directions. And it is a tradition that a blessing is offered on our turtle shells. Great Spirit of the East, we turn to you where the sun comes up from the power of light and refreshment come. Great Spirit of light, come to me out of the east with the power of the rising sun. Let there be light in my words. Let there be light on my path that I walk. Let me remember always that you give the gift of a new day, and never let me be burdened with sorrow by not starting over again. Great Spirit of love, come to me with the power of the north. Make me courageous when the cold wind falls upon me. Give me strength and endurance for everything that is harsh, everything that hurts, everything that makes me squint. Let me move through life ready to take what comes from the north. Great life-giving Spirit, we face the west, the direction of sunsets. Let me remember every day that the moment will come when my sun will go down. Never let me forget that I must fade into you. Give me a beautiful color. Give me a great sky for setting, so that when it's my time to meet you, I come with glory. Great Spirit of creation, send me the warmth and soothing winds from the south. Comfort me and caress me. Protect me when I am tired and cold. Unfold me like the gentle breeze that unfolds the leaves on trees. As you give all earth your warmth, your moving wind, give to me so that I may grow to you in warmth. We did not create the web of life, but we stand and we are a strand within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. So mote it be. So when we work with the Spirit, and I want now just if you have felt that, you can feel the pulse in your hands. The next thing I want you to do is put the belly onto your third eye. I know it sounds weird, but I am a little weird. But I want you to just put it on your third eye and pay attention to your third eye and how it feels. And some people actually sometimes hear, it's almost like they can hear their third eye hitting the shell in a way. But you want to connect. Some might feel a little pulse or an adjustment that happens. Some might feel like a little bit of a rhythm opening and closing. but you want to feel something. And once you feel that connection, pull it away gently. See how you feel when you pull it away? Wow, I could feel, you can usually feel where your aura ends, like that magnetic pull, it kind of leaves. And you'll feel that with other people. And then I want you to hold it in your right hand and place again the belly part onto your crown chakra, right on top. And if you ever get a headache, do this. And just pay attention to your crown chakra. And if you can feel something, that's good. And the weird thing is before you pull it off, right now, I just don't want to take it off. It just feels so good. Okay. Now, when you do pull it off your crown chakra, do it slowly. And sometimes it'll feel like it's really heavy, like it doesn't want to leave. And if that happens, there's still healing taking place. Okay. And you have to think about this. Our crown chakra is like our channel, right? That's where we can connect to any of the different consciousness, anyone that exists. And we can create quite a filter. So this is very cleansing. So now just take it off slowly and see if it comes off easily. And you can even see how slow I'm doing mine. Oh, I can still feel it. Oh, I can still feel it. I hope you can too. Okay. Oh, I love that. So you've connected to it. And next, we're going to, yes, okay, there's a chat. Let me see. That's amazing. Wow, you're doing it. Okay, so if you felt anything, you're like power. Okay, I got goosebumps everywhere. So now remember, I want you to put your belly down, face down, and go down past your heart, but above your belly. Okay? And just hold it there. You're not touching your belly, but just hold it. And now rattle. When you do that, you might hear something in your eardrums. Like it's kind of like almost like your ears want to adjust, or like almost like popping, but not really. And you might also feel it go down to your root chakra or even down into your legs. So if you are doing that and you can experience what I'm telling you about in the eardrums, that is a healing that's taking place all up through your channel. Okay. And it's awesome because it's activating. And that's a very special place. So a lot of healing will occur there. And I'm trying to remember what it is called. But you can go like this into a circular pattern, like a wheel there too, just to generate power there. And it will make you more powerful and it will cleanse. I'm going to have to, I can't think about what it is. I'm going to have to find it. I know I have it in another class written somewhere. So I will message you that. Okay, the healing of what that's called. It's almost like Hanukkah. It's not like that, actually. I can't even think of it. I'm sorry. So what I want to do now is talk about how to do a healing. Okay, Now for you, what I would do for myself is I always start at the tip of my toes, okay? And go to the tip of your toes and just heal yourself. And then slowly, and you never want to, your wrist has to be loose, okay? A loose wrist. You don't want to have a tense wrist. When it's loose, spirit can come and it will start shaking at times. And let it come up. Make sure you get your knees. Oh, my knees get so tense. And wherever you don't have clothes on, so your hands, you can actually feel it. When you go close to your face, try to feel the cool breeze. You'll feel a coolness from the shell. That is the power of the healing water. I go to my hands. Oh, it's so nice to do your hand and do the other hand. Oh, I felt it stronger in my right hand. See which hand you feel is stronger when you put your rattle over it. Your left hand, is it cool or warm? Can you feel it? And then do your right hand. Mine is definitely my right hand. So because my right hand is more powerful, I am in a manifestation mode, which means that I need to be focusing on the things that I have to be focusing on. Don't break my focus. I gotta get this stuff done. So when you feel right, you're manifesting something. Your spirit is at work, okay? If you feel it in your right hand, spirit is guiding you and that you are in a receiving mode. So when this is more powerful, I let go. Then I'm open to experience. I'm in a place of receiving. This can also mean a releasing. So I'm getting stuff done or I'm going through a healing thing. So I always like to ask people what they feel. Was it their left hand more powerful than their right? Okay. So you can smudge yourself all up. Okay. And even if you can't reach your whole other side, and some of you can, but if you can't, when you're doing the one side for yourself, you're influencing the entire auric field. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't get that lower back. Do it in the front. Okay, the auric field goes all around us. Okay, or you can do it at your root chakra. So some of you know about the chakras. You'll want to make sure that you do healings at each chakra. And when you do it, you want to take note on any type of hearing difference. So if it all of a sudden changes, and you might think, oh, it was me. No, it wasn't. The rattle changed sound. Focus on it until you get a rhythm. And then when you move away from that chakra, see if it changes again. And once you go up the entire body from the feet over the head and then back down, it should be a nice, clear healing. So most of the clearing is going to be taking place when you go up the front. Okay? You can start at the back, but the first part of the healing, I should say, is where most of the stuff is going to be broken and cleansed. Okay? you do want to pay attention to what happens. So when you do healing for someone, imagine just like you're going to listen to the rattle and all of your abilities are aware, and they automatically are as soon as you hear it. That's what we're going to do, okay? The other thing is they might knock out. Many times they will just like all of a sudden they're like come out of it and they're snoring or something, and it's okay. Okay, but I do find that most people will do like to do three consecutive, and a lot of people you'll see out there do three healings, and they say you should do three in a row and see how it is, right? Like three once every month for 3 months. Some people do three times once a week. Okay, you can do whatever you want. Okay, but you can also do it by donation, by trade, and a lot are going to charge, and it's okay to charge. We're in the 2021s. When my grandfather was doing his healings back in the old days, they did a lot of trade. They'd give him bottles of liquor, and they'd sometimes give him cows or a goat, and he lived until he was 110. And when he passed away, their entire basement was liquor bottles. He didn't drink. So the family was like all shocked, right? Because it was like a liquor store down there. But he was a medicine man. He didn't drink. And so, that when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So he didn't actually get to receive the goodness of that, right? Of his work. So you can charge, and you're going to see most people do. And when it comes to the healings, look around the web, most people charge $150. I started at $50, and I like to do 50 to 125. And what happens is that healing is going to take about an hour. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you know what the room feels like. How do you feel like we are in the room? Just pay attention to yourself as you're getting your room ready. Maybe you're getting your room ready for yourself. Maybe it's for someone you're going to do a healing for, okay? So you get the room ready, you pay attention to how you feel, scan your body. Do you have any pains? If you do, just kind of rattle it. I always smudge my room before people come. I light like one leaf and then I let it burn. And then when someone comes for their healing, even if you're doing it online, you can do these healings online. They don't even have to be with you. But if you're doing it in person, and that's what I'm kind of showing you, as soon as they walk in, I know exactly what and who they are because I'm aware of myself. So as soon as someone comes into my presence, I know them and I know what presence they bring. And when you become aware of your atmosphere and space, and something walks in, just like when we walk into a place and we're like, ooh, I don't like it, I want to leave. It's the same type of feeling, but they come, right? You will feel their presence. And if you feel anything, you are ready to do your service. That is a destined service. Believe in it, okay? So now I have them come in. I have them sit in a chair, and you can do this laying down. Lots of people do it with them laying on the couch, or it's amazing to do it in the summer on the ground or at the beach. But if they're coming into your home, I usually have them sitting on a chair. I do have a healing bed that I'll fold out. I used to do it that way, But I find that it's more of an experience when they just sit and leave and walk and feel that difference. And I always said it would be amazing to have a before and after photograph because you can see the change, like physically. It's amazing. So I have them sit in the chair. I tell them, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm just going to get ready. I go and I leave the room and I let them relax for a minute. Usually I'll wash my hands, or I make a rosemary water. I boil it like a tea and I put it in a bottle, and I like to spray my hands with it. It helps activate and cleanse my hands. And then I come in after about 5 minutes. And when I come in, I can really now feel what the room feels like. Okay, so I'm going to use Brett as my guinea pig and show you how to do a healing. And I want you to try this on someone and see how you like it. Okay, have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
So here is the person that you're going to cleanse. And you can have some music going, but I suggest no. But if you're out in nature, it's amazing. You got to try it in the forest, try it in different places, okay? So here we go. I walked in after he has a few minutes. I will usually smudge him. So I'll have a little cleansing first. And when I smudge, I start at the feet and I do the exact same thing that I'm going to do my rattle with. So you can use a feather and you smudge him all the way. And I go about, you can see once I get higher, I go past them. See how I'm doing this? And then I go to the sides. And I like to get their hands. And then I go across the back. And I always pay attention to what the smudge is doing. Now, when you get to this point where I'm at the head, this is where you want to look for an aura. So I always have a candle burning in front of them. And you'll be able to see all along where my feather is, a glow. And that's what you want to kind of start looking for. And once you do see that glow, you'll definitely see it with a turtle. So I come all the way to the other side and then put it away. Now the rattle. Now, sometimes I'll have them so that they're wearing an eye mask. And I just tell them, close your eyes, because you don't want them watching you. And you want them to have an experience. So close your eyes and relax. When you hear me stop rattling, you can awaken. Now watch. And you can rattle with me if you want. I'm starting at the left leg. The left side is the receiving. open their hand, get their right hand, down to their right leg. Now when you come back up, a little quicker. Back up. Your left hand. You want to watch for a glow. It'll look like your turtle shell. Imagine the end of it has a flashlight. Then you can do the chakras. Throat chakra I like to do at the side. Heart or cleanse. How did it feel?
Oh, amazing. It was, can't even think.
Good. That's exactly it. So you always want to let them relax after. I usually say just relax for a few minutes while you awaken. Don't get up too quickly. And then I leave and I usually get them a glass of water. And then I'll have a sip of water with them and discuss what they experienced or how they felt. But usually it will cleanse the mind. And just like you said, you can't even really think.
Mm-hmm. You can feel it all over your body doing it. And at the end, I actually smelled sweetgrass.
Good. That means a blessing has occurred for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to move my necklace back. When you do a healing, think about going up the left and then down And then you want to, once you do that, go back up, get the hands, and then back up, and then go back their past their back. You want to focus on the chakras. Try to do 2 minutes per chakra. Okay. So that there, I usually do mine for 3 minutes a chakra. So my sessions are 45 minutes where people are either laying down or sitting up. You might find having them laying down is easier because you're not going up and down, but it is the best outside in the summer to do this. So I would suggest if you are going to have sessions for people, and do it in the summertime while in your yard. It's amazing. And you're going to find this the most powerful experience that they'll have. Okay. Do you always use right hand or both? No, when you use your rattle, you can use any hand you want. And you may feel guided to go to the left. Sometimes you'll change it. Sometimes you'll use both. So your hands will almost feel like you just have to listen to them, or they'll like cramp up, or you just know you have to do certain changes. So as far as holding your stick, it doesn't matter which hand you use. The same with the rattle. Sometimes you'll be going flat against with the belly, but other times you'll be going like this in a circle. So, whatever your rattle wants to do, it's doing. So it doesn't matter. And even if you find like, wow, I got the awesome pace, and then all of a sudden it changes, it's probably because you got aware of that pace. And I used to do that. I was like, oh my God, that sounded so good. I sounded like, a medicine man, right? And then like, yeah, I did it. And then all of a sudden it changed. But even when I do it right now, you can probably see some of that white light that comes off of it. So you want to look for the white glow when you're doing it. It really, truly happens. See? What? But it's like you can even see it in the daytime. It's like the shooting light that comes off of it, and it's almost like a flashlight. Totally amazing. So you have created an incredible tool. You can even do 15-minute sessions or 5-minute sessions. Like try this out, right? But when you use this, you're activating white light. You are a light worker. You can do this. One of you said that you want to heal Mother Earth. Every time you rattle this, you are influencing the healing of the earth. I truly believe it. Okay. So I'm telling you, this summer, we're going to have to meet up and do some rattling together. Okay. Even if we meet up for a picnic somewhere, we'll have to. Okay. And I know one of you is quite far away, but who cares? We'll make it happen. It's worth it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know you got your manuals, and I have some certificates that are in the making for you. So they should be sent to you tomorrow. But use your rattle. Share your experiences with me. I love it. And listen to these videos every once in a while just to refresh you. I also have a turtle prayer that I wanted to send you, a nice little poster that you can print out and put in your room if you want. But rattle away, right? Rattle your house, If your hubby's grumpy, get over there with that rattle, right? He's going to know that you're going to come at him with a rattle if he's grumpy. Okay, yeah, I know. I'll never stop rattling either, but it works. No, it cleanses, and you'll get to experience that. But what you will treasure with it is the experiences that you'll have and the way it makes you feel. And think about the rattles that people gave babies. It was to keep away evil. It wasn't just to, you know, as a toy. So rattles are very sacred. It was to keep evil away from them. And I'm proud of you for making yours. Thank you so much for sharing your pictures. It was so fun. I'll have more classes in the future, of course, and I hope we see each other again soon. But before we go, let me pull a card. And if you have any questions about anything, put it down. Thank you for joining me. I'm also going to see if I can find some more Rattle songs, just like not so much a journeying, but just a Rattle song that you can play, you know, on a nice day, just crank it up and rattle. Rattle during the full moon. New moon is the most powerful time for us to receive healings. So if you rattle during the new moon, you'll find it really affects you. The other thing I find is for my bookings, if I have somebody that is experiencing a lot of negative energy and they want a cleansing, then I make sure that I do that during the day after the full moon, all the way to the new moon, because that is a time of releasing. So if anyone comes to you, oh, I'm stuck, I feel this, book them in from the full moon to the new moon. If someone comes to you because they want to be cleansed or blessed for fertility, or they want just a healing to receive healing, and it's not so much a release, then you want to do it from the new moon to the full moon, because that is the waxing time. And that's actually when all of the time of receiving comes to us. So we get to receive things through that time. And if you're aware of that, you'll probably find that most of your bills come during the waning time from the full moon to the new moon. That's when all the stuff comes up in the month, and it's like, what? It's through that time. So what did I get for us? Support is all around you, and it says fellow travelers. So I think that is also us on our path and how we're going to help and heal ourselves, the consciousness of the earth. Every time you do it, you're putting good energy into our earth. And it also represents us meeting up for a little rattle cleansing, right? So yeah, we'll have to plan that. I won't forget. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll send you this copy tomorrow when it's finished. And many blessings to you. Take care.
Thank you.
Wish I can hug you all. Take care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you so much. Yeah. Bye now.
You can also name your rattle.
Yeah.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.